JJ, who's the most impressive New York player a month into the season?
This is an easy one for me. And look, I think a lot of people are going to look at the obvious and they're going to say Juan Soto. Look, unless you've been living under a rock, you're not realizing how special a player this is. So I'm putting him in an entirely different category. He's a cyborg. He's a superhuman. I'm looking at Luis Severino. And the reason Luis Severino, to me, is the most impressive player a month in is because of what he was a year ago for the Yankees. He was banished, basically. He had 8.5 ERA. I don't know if he was tipping pitches. I don't know if it was the pressure of a contract, but he looked like a guy who was completely cooked. The Mets took a flyer. They took a one-year prove-it type of contract. And Severino has been amazing. This stuff has been there. He had a no-hitter going into Monday night's game. Now, again, the questions always with Severino, gang, are going to relate to his health and whether or not he can maintain this over the course of the year. But a month in, it's been an absolute beast. It's Sevy.
Oh, I'm not trying to overthink it past the Juan Soto of it all. It's Juan Soto. Who's the most impressive player? It's got to be the guy who is currently second best by WRC Plus in all of baseball and third best by Fangraphs WAR. I think one of the most impressive things that a person can do as an athlete is deliver on hype. Out of the gate, that's incredible. I mean, I think that's what makes Bryce Harper's whole career so interesting and so impressive, and that's what makes Juan Soto's start in New York so impressive. I mean, the pressure on this guy to be a savior for a team that, like you said, missed the postseason, and to be delivering at a time when Judge is struggling, I just think that is incredibly impressive. That is to live up to Yankees fans' expectations for what a single player savior could look like is incredible. That's incredibly impressive.
Yeah, I think that they're both equally impressive for totally different reasons. Severino far exceeding expectations. Juan Soto living up to the lofty expectations. Britt, which struggling New York player will bounce back in May?
Well, I think they're hoping it's Jeff McNeil because, guys, he's not a guy who lives and dies by the home run. He lives and dies by putting the ball in play, and obviously that batting average. That's what made him so good and really paved the way for this contract. So I think what you're hoping is he gets a little bit more luck because right now his batting average on balls in play is down. You see it across the board. His defense, I know it's early, but defensive metrics are a little down on him as well. So I think if you're the Mets, you're hoping that he has a couple games that turn the tide. He starts to get those numbers up, and he can again become a guy that you believe in to get on base 2-3 times a night.
I'm looking at Gleyber Torres, and look, I know Gleyber Torres has had a nightmarish start to this season. He's playing for a contract. I have to assume sooner rather than later, he is going to perform to the back of the baseball card. I mean, are you going to tell me that Gleyber Torres is going to hit 5 or 6 home runs this year? You're going to tell me that Gleyber Torres is going to have a contract year similar to what we saw from Michael Conforto 2 years ago? I just don't believe that's going to be the case. Now, is Gleyber Torres going to be as productive as he was a season ago? Not necessarily. I do think he's much better than this, and I think he's going to have a much better May.
Interesting that neither of you said Aaron Judge, who has been struggling, obviously, in the month of April, and I do think most people expect him to bounce back. But for me, I mean, I haven't seen Aaron Judge perform like this. Before the toe injury, this was rare to see Aaron. The issues were never performance. It was always about health. He came back last year after the toe injury, struggled a little bit, again struggling, hitting into double plays. Aaron Judge does not look the same. The Yankees better hope that he bounces back.
I was ready to say that, like, oh, I feel fine about Judge. I was looking in, and then I kind of accidentally convinced myself I don't feel fine about Judge because of the speed.
Those Monday at-bats were brutal.
Yeah, you thought I was crazy last week for bringing up Aaron Judge.
I'm a little worried. The speed has really fallen off.